and this is Husband Love Your Wives podcast. Husbands Love Your Wives podcast, and you can call your friends and your family and whoever you believe that would gain from watching our podcast. I'm so glad that you all are here today, and I want to say welcome. For all those that are watching me, I'd like to say welcome to Husbands Love Your Wives podcast. We're going to talk today about why some men stop valuing women who ignore their worth. Why some men stop valuing women who ignore their worth. Stop begging for love. Stop begging for love. Respect yourself first. Good evening. I'm Coach Janet, and I want to welcome each and every one of you all here today. We're talking today, and I'd like for you all to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. If you have not already done so, I would like for you all to like, share, and subscribe. We're talking today about why some men stop valuing women who ignore their worth. I'm saying stop begging for love. Stop begging for love, ladies. Love and respect yourself first. We just want to ask that question. Why do some women keep, giving their heart, giving their time? Hey, Coach. Hey, Sister Natalie. Why do some women keep giving their heart, their time, and their loyalty, yet still feel unloved? Still feel unwanted, still feel overlooked, still feel dishonored. All right? The painful truth is that sometimes people follow the standards that you allow. And we talk about that women should always have standards. We talk about how women should have boundaries. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. We're going to talk about how standards and boundaries can help you in your relationship. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about self-respect will change everything. We're talking about self-respect will change everything. First, let's go ahead and dive on into this conversation. We have 7 signs a woman has lost self-respect in a relationship. These are 7 signs that a woman have lost self-respect in a relationship. Listen, number 1 is she accepts disrespect constantly. She constantly accepts disrespect, the lies, ignoring her feelings, embarrasses her. This is a woman that has lost self-respect in a relationship. He lies to her, ignores her feeling, embarrasses her, speaks harshly to her, and she keeps accepting these things without boundaries. Self-respect is just weakened. And as I said before many times, you accept what you allow. You accept what you allow. And the boundaries can end a lot of this. And when you set the boundaries and let them know this is not happening, not on my watch, as my little granddaughter said today, not on my watch. This is not happening. Okay? And that was number 1. 7 signs a woman has lost self-respect in a relationship. Number 2, she begs for attention. She begs for attention. Love should not require constant begging. Always begging for the man to give her attention. You've lost self-respect in your relationship. If you have to beg for it, you've lost it. When you ignore the red flags, you see the red flags. You see them, but you ignore them. And I know about that one. I know about that one. I know about the lies. I know about, and I'm telling you that the boundaries and the standards, they work because you feel far better when you let them know this is it. But we're talking about seven reasons, or seven that you see that the disrespect, you don't have the self-respect is gone in a relationship. The self-respect. She begs for attention. She ignores clear red flags. Yeah, I mean, the behavior is repeatedly. The dishonesty is repeatedly. The selfishness is repeatedly. And you just ignore it because you don't want to be alone. And there's nothing wrong with being alone, ladies. Because when you accept these things, it'll often lead to more hurt. When you accept this type of treatment, it leads to more disappointment. Number 4, she lowers her standards to keep someone. You know certain things that you would not put up with, but because you don't want to be alone, you would put up with so much. You put up with so much because you don't want to be alone. But guess what, ladies? You are important. You are the princess. You are the queen. You are the queen. And I say this more than one time. I say whenever it looks like that the man is the queen, there's a problem. There's a problem when he thinks he's the prize. There's a problem. But you have to set boundaries. You have to set standards. You have to do it. And that's self-respect. That's self-respect. Sometimes women fear losing a person so much that they abandon what they believe is important. They abandon that because they want you to stay with them. They want you to stay with them. Number 5, she stays where there is no peace. Baby, you have lost self-respect in a relationship when you know you don't have any peace in that relationship and you stay in it anyway. And you stay in it anyway. Thank you, Isis. I appreciate it. You stay in it anyway. And you know you don't have any peace. You know, oh, wow. We're going to have to get rid of him. But you know you don't have peace. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly. You are important. All right. A relationship full of confusion and fear and emotional pain can slowly damage your identity. It can slowly damage your identity. She depends on him for her value. Ladies, value yourself. Value yourself, ladies. Don't depend on a man to value you. Love yourself. Respect yourself. Thank you. Hi there, Major Plug. Hi, thank you for coming on. And I'm telling the ladies, always love and value yourself because you are important. Okay? If her confidence rises or falls only by his approval, she may be losing sight of her own worth. You have to believe that you're worthy yourself. You have to believe that you are worthy. Number 7, she keeps giving without receiving healthy love. I wonder how many of you all can relate to that. Is that relatable to anybody out there? Is that relatable? that you constantly giving and you don't receive. It's not reciprocal. You keep giving out healthy love, and you're not receiving. When you start doing that, you've lost self-respect in the relationship. And we're talking about how women should stop begging for love. We're talking about how women should respect yourself first. Because sometimes you might not receive that from a man. You might not receive a man valuing you because you ignored your own worth. You're beautiful. I want to say this to men, to women, excuse me. You're beautiful without a man. Know your worth without a man. Because sometimes you can be very disappointed. Sometimes you can be very disappointed. 5 reasons men stop valuing certain women. Number 1, boundaries are missing. There you are. That's what I was saying in the beginning. I was saying that when you don't have standards and when you don't have boundaries, a lot of times men will stop valuing you. When you don't have, when you don't have that, when you don't have the boundaries set, when you don't have the standards set. Okay? All right. And so we're going to have to handle that right there, you all. But nevertheless, this is number 2. Because I want to say something else about that setting of the boundaries. Because a lot of times, men, they come and they test to see what you will put up with. And that's the reason why when you have boundaries, when you have standards, you have to continue to stand for what you stand for. You have to stand for what you stand for. Number 2, familiarity without honor. These are the reason why men stop valuing certain women. Familiarity without honor. Familiarity without honor. Sometimes when too much is given without accountability, appreciation decreases. Appreciation decreases. So there should be some type of accountability. Yes. Number 3, emotional availability is unequal. One person gives deeply while the other remains careless. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Isis. Number 3 is emotional availability is unequal. Emotional availability is unequal. One person gives deeply while the other remains careless. Emotional availability is unequal. And it should not be like that. But sometimes that's the way it is. Another one, number 4, standards keep changing. This is a reason why some men, they stop valuing certain women. Emotional availability is unequal. 4, standards keep changing. When a woman says one thing but accepts another, confusion follows. You have to stand by what you have already set. Okay, we're going to get rid of, let's see. We're going to see if we can get rid of Mr. Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. We're going to see if we can get rid of them. How about that? We're going to see if we can stop some of this going on here. Yes, 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 yes. 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 We're going to see what we can get done. Um, we're going to see if we're going to, because we're not going to tolerate a bunch of confusion on here when we're uh, talking about different things, and they're decided to go on with foolishness. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, and so that's what we're talking about. Yes, we're gonna handle this here. I have someone that I know that said when people come on your live and they decide, when people come on your live and they decide to say all derogatory things, and oh, they're just doing their thing just to try to mess up what you have going on. They're pitiful people because they don't have anything else to do but to come and to disturb someone else's day. But guess what? That's why it's good to know your worth. Ah, yes. That's why it's good to know. Um, let's see here. Let's see what we can get done here. No, we're not mad. We are uh, not mad at all. We're not mad at all. But we are happy. And we are happy to get rid of people that are very disrespectful. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about, being, stop begging for love. We're talking about having self respect for yourself. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about things that's going to help us. Self worth. That's what we're talking about. Okay, and we're talking about being confident. We're talking about, having boundaries. This is what we're talking about today. We're talking about self-respect. And a woman must understand that she is the prize. She is the queen. She's not going to tolerate any and all types of disrespect. She has to have standards. She has to have boundaries, and she has to stand with them. She can't confuse a person saying one thing but doing another. She has to stand on what she believes in. That's what we're talking about today. And this gentleman or whoever it was that came in thought they said, "Oh, I'm sorry to make you mad." I'm not upset about anything anyone do on this social media because I know who I am. I know who I am, and I'm just here to try to help someone. I went through 44 years of marriage. I went through 44 years of marriage, and I can tell someone something about marriage because 44 years is not just a short time. Okay, it's over 2 life sentences in prison. And I tell you something, I believe I can tell somebody something, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to do what I can do to tell somebody something that can help their marriage. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here for a bunch of foolishness, but I'm here to help if I can help, because when I was young, before I got married, I can't say that I knew so much as I know now. And so that's the reason why I wanted to get on here and I wanted to tell somebody something to help them. Because if you know, then you'll do better. If you know about a situation, then you would do better. Hello, Major Plug. You'll do better because you know about it. You do better because you'll know about it. But let me share with you all. I want to make sure that you all are hearing me. Isis, are you all hearing me? Can everybody hear me? Just want to make sure that everybody was hearing. All right. But let me share this. Self-respect. Let me share with you all about self-respect. Thank you very much. I want to share with you all about self-respect. Self-respect means knowing when to say no. And one of my topics today is stop begging for love. Stop begging for love. And respect yourself first. Stop begging for love. Stop begging for a man's attention. Ladies, this is husbands, love your wives. But I want the women, before you say I do, I want you to love yourself. I want you to respect yourself. I want you to know who you are and what are your standards? What are your standards? Know yourself. That's why I'm on here. Know your standards, know what you put up with, and don't be afraid to tell someone else your standards and your boundaries. Knowing when to say no. This is self-respect. Knowing when to say no. Knowing when to leave unhealthy patterns. This is self-respect. When you know how to leave unhealthy patterns. I stayed in a marriage for 44 years, and believe me, there were a lot of unhealthy patterns. But you have to know when to leave. Self-respect means knowing that loneliness is better than daily dishonor. That's what self-respect means. Self-respect means knowing when loneliness is better than daily dishonor. It's not worth it to be dishonored every day, just for the keeping up of appearances. You keeping up of appearances, making, like everything is A-okay. If you know that things are not A-okay, then you need to know when it's better to be lonely than to be dishonored. That's self-respect. That's self-respect. Knowing that peace matters. Yes, that's self-respect. When you know when your peace means more to you than you can say love. And I was talking to my daughter today, and we were talking about how you can train somebody how to treat you. You can train somebody how to treat you. You don't have to put up with crap. That's what we were talking about. A woman who respects herself does not become cold. She becomes wise. That's what we're talking about. Women, stop begging for love. Love and respect yourself. See? True love cannot flourish where dignity is constantly sacrificed. See, we talk about love, but are you truly in love? When somebody disrespects you, when someone has you begging for love, begging for attention, begging for intimacy, begging, is that true love? Because love is what it does. Yes. And if someone really values you in a relationship, they're going to treat you as such. They're going to respect you. They're going to accept your boundaries and your standards. They're going to respect you. They're going to say, okay, you don't want this done, I'm not going to do it. But when they look over your boundaries and your standards don't mean nothing to them, then how can you say that you mean anything to them? Time to move on. Yeah. I'm talking to the ladies today. Ladies, it's time for us to get wise. It's time for us to be wise. You set the standards of how it's going to be. And as I said before, I'm going to do a podcast, hopefully soon, stating before you say I do. Before you say I do. Before you say I do, you need to know about the standards that you have. You need to know what he expects of you before you say I do. This is what I came on here for, to talk about. We want to talk about this. We want to talk about stop begging for love. Stop begging for his attention. Stop begging for anything. Because it wasn't meant for women to be begging for anything from a man. And sometimes women, sometimes men think that they so much of the prize that you got to be running after them. That's what they do. They think that there's so much of a prize. Hey, you need me. Listen, you'll see how much I need you. And I'm saying this because this is what needs to be talked about before you say I do. And any man that talks about, yeah, you need me so much, something wrong right there. Because the man is supposed to be accountable and responsible. I know people don't really like to be talked to like this, but it's the truth. A man is supposed to be responsible. And a woman shouldn't have to beg for, especially if you're married. Especially if you're married. You're not supposed to be begging for intimacy if you're married. Anybody that's begging for intimacy and they married, you need to check and see if that's a narcissist that you're dealing with. If you got to beg, because one of the reasons why you get married is so you can have intimacy and be legal with God. That's one of the reasons why you get married. So you can have intimacy with the person and be good, legally good, instead of living and shacking up with someone. That's the reason why. That's the purpose, one of the purposes for marriage. And if you have to beg for love, if you have to beg for intimacy in a marriage, check and see if you're not dealing with a narcissist. Because no one should have to beg for love in a relationship with a marriage. Of course not a marriage. Okay? Something's wrong with that. And somebody needs some therapy. If you never should have to beg for that. Okay? You never should have to, and so we're talking about stop begging for love, ladies. Stop begging for love. Stop begging for attention from a man, from your husband. But you should have gotten that together in the beginning. I know, because there are some things that I would have liked to have said to the man I married before I married him. And you need, not saying that a woman is running the show, but you can let someone know. You can let someone know what you feel about a situation before you jump into marriage. Let them know. Okay? And you need to know what he has going on or what he expects in the marriage, and you already know what you expect, and then you set your standards and you set your boundaries, and you let him know. One of the boundaries is this right here. When you were single, gentlemen, the ladies can tell them this. When you were single, you went out and hang with the boys. But listen, when we get married, it's not going to be no more of that hanging out with the boys every weekend. I can see you going out with them from time to time, but not every weekend. No, sir. If you think it's going to be like that, then you need to skip on down the road. Because if you don't let them know, ladies, I'm going to tell you, if you don't let the men know this, they're going to do what they want to do. Because selfishness is going to kick in. Selfishness is really already there with the men. But selfishness will kick in and they will say, well, I did it before and you didn't say anything about it. That's the reason why a lot of men need to know up front, even before the dating The dating process come. You need, and some people say, well, I don't want to scare him off. Scare him off. Go ahead, scare him off. Because if his thoughts and his ways are not lining up with yours, that's going to be a problem later on. Go ahead, scare him off. Tell, okay, you're not interested in that, and I am interested in it. And so I think that we better just go ahead and go our separate ways. I'm not saying that men are perfect. I'm not saying that, the woman always got to do everything to please the man, or the man got to do everything to please the woman. But to have a good marriage/relationship, there must be, listen, I remember telling someone this, and I was counseling, and I told them, all right, you get a piece of paper, you write down what you expect in this relationship, and you write down what you respect, and you all come together with it. You come together and see how you can combine it and work things out. But if somebody is not going to go for what you believe in the beginning, you need to tell them, nice meeting you, bye. Because if not, you're going to be disappointed later on. And then down the road, you'll be wondering, I wonder why I hate, and we don't want to say we hate, we marry, but sometimes some people are married, yet they're miserable. And if they had gotten things straightened out or clarified or boundaries set or standards set in the beginning, then they wouldn't been going through the miserableness of a marriage, because you already knew. You understand what I'm saying? Women, you could tell the man easily, listen, you already knew I wasn't putting up with that in the beginning. So don't come here now with it. What are we talking about? We're talking about the women. Love yourself first. Stop begging for love. Stop begging for attention. Stop begging for intimacy. Stop begging for anything regarding a man. Love yourself. Love yourself. Okay? And we can talk about, because now you don't want to lose a good man, but you still need to have your boundaries set. You need to have your boundaries in order. And you need to let them know up front. I can't say that enough, because I'm telling you, I was married for 44 years, and it's not all peaches and cream. And anybody that's, getting married, or if you've been married, you know what I'm talking about. If anybody out there been married, you know what I'm talking about. It's not all lovey-dovey all the time. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes things, it's so easy to fall out. And when I say, I'm not talking about fall out of love, but it's so easy to fall out with one another in marriage. But I come on this podcast saying, husbands, love your wives. That I come on here saying, I'm not beating up the men. I'm not beating up any women right now. What I'm saying is, as my podcast, husbands, love your wives. Husbands, love your wives. Okay? And women would definitely reverence their husband if the husband loved the wives like they're supposed to. What else does it say? As Christ loved the church. And we know that Christ died for the church. How many men out there dying for their wife? How many men are out there dying for their wife and putting their life on the line for their wife? Come on. What are we going to do? Are we going to be obedient to that scripture? Or are we going to tear that little bit out? We're going to tear that out the Bible. Oh, let's chunk that now, because we don't want to talk about that anymore. No, it doesn't say husband, love your mistress. Husband, love your girlfriend. Husband, love it doesn't say that. It says husbands, love your wives, as Christ loved the church. And so we're talking about, though, stop begging for love. Respect yourself first. That's what we were talking about today. Stop begging for love. Stop it. Stop it. Love yourself, ladies. And it's best that you tell the men before you say I do. It's best that you let them know your standards and your boundaries. We're talking about a happy relationship. That's what we're talking about. 'Cause I know some people don't believe what I'm saying when I tell them, it's good to have boundaries in a marriage. They say, what boundaries? You're not supposed to have boundaries. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You understand me? If you cleaning up the kitchen, and you say no coming in the kitchen after 9 p.m., if I've cleaned this kitchen up, and you don't come in here messing up unless you're going to clean up and let it look just like how I left it. That's boundaries. And then it won't be any argument, because when the husband come in the kitchen and he see it spotless and clean, he coming after 9 o'clock, if whatever he does in that kitchen, he better straighten it up before that wife get up in the morning, or before she come in there. That's a boundary. That's a boundary. You understand what I'm saying? And this is good to have a great marriage. And now when you get a man or you get a woman that you have those boundaries set and they keep looking over those boundaries, that's when the problem comes. That's when the problem come in. And then they're causing some argumentative words to come forth, because that's disrespectful. And we talked about that as well. We don't want the men to be so disrespectful. All the women, marriage is a team. Marriage is a team. It's a partnership. And you make sure that you're not the one that's causing the problem. Look at yourself in the mirror. That's why a lot of people might not want to listen to me, but I'm telling you, I've been married for 44 years. I know about it. Look at yourself and make sure you're not causing the problem. And if you're selfish in a marriage, that's a problem. Because you can't be selfish in a marriage and talking about a partnership, and you believing everything is yours. That statement that says, what's mine is mine and what yours is mine, need to be burnt up, set fire to, never say it again. Not in a marriage. Not in a marriage. What's yours is mine and what's mine is yours. That's the way it should be in a marriage. That's the way it should be. What's mine is yours and what yours is mine. Why? Because we're partners. We work together. We work together. And if we want to be together for a long time, you have to work at it. If you want to be together for 40, 50, 60, 70 years in a marriage, then you have to work it out and work together. And when you look at marriage like this, then a woman don't have to beg for love. A woman doesn't have to beg for your attention. She doesn't have to, because you're sharing everything that you have with her. You're sharing it all with her, because what you have, it belongs to her as well. So stop begging for love. I'm going to go ahead and close out. Stop begging for love, ladies. Love and respect yourself. Love and respect yourself. And I didn't come on here today to beat up on anybody, but I am here to talk about how good a husband can love his wife. And if a husband is doing what he should do in a marriage, that wife has no problem, or she should not have any problem, reverence him and loving him back. So, I love you all, and I'm going to go ahead and close it out. But we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about before I say I do. Before you say I do, the things that you should prepare for before you say I do. I love you all, and I hope you all have a marvelous week, a marvelous rest of the month. And we're getting ready for April. We're getting ready for spring to come in, and we're going to spring forward with a new attitude. And I pray for all of the marriages that God ordained, that you all will learn to share, get along with one another, and be as a partner, be one of the best partners that you can be in your marriage. I love you all, and I hope y'all have a wonderful night, wonderful evening. Peace.